I never thought ordering coffee would change my entire life. But when that woman pointed at me and said those words, everything I believed about myself shattered in an instant. My name is Maya Richardson, and I'm a corporate lawyer in downtown Chicago. 29 years old, Harvard Law graduate, partner track at one of the city's most prestigious firms. Every morning, I stop at the same cafe before work, a small ritual that grounds me before 12-hour days of depositions and contract negotiations. That Tuesday morning started like any other. I walked into Sterling Brew, wearing my tailored navy suit, briefcase in hand, ready to grab my usual vanilla latte. The cafe was busy, the morning rush in full swing, but I'd learned to navigate it with practiced ease. I stood in line, scrolling through emails on my phone, mentally preparing for a major client meeting at 9. Around me, the usual sounds: espresso machines hissing, conversations humming, the soft jazz playing overhead. When I reached the counter, the barista, a young guy I'd never seen before, looked up at me with a tight smile. "Can I help you?" he asked, his tone different. Clipped. "Vanilla latte medium, please," I said warmly. He nodded, punched something into the register. "That'll be $5.50. I handed him my card. He swiped it. Then his eyes narrowed. "It declined," he said flatly. My stomach dropped. "That's impossible. Can you try again?" He swiped it twice more, each time shaking his head with increasing impatience. Behind me, I felt the line growing restless. "Do you have another form of payment?" he asked loudly. "Yes, but that card works. I used it yesterday." "Ma'am, the line's getting long. If you can't pay—" "I can pay," I interrupted, feeling heat rise in my cheeks. I pulled out another card, handed it over. He swiped it. Same result. Now people were definitely watching. A woman behind me sighed, audibly. The barista called over his manager, a middle-aged white woman with sharp features and a nameplate that read Stephanie. "What's the problem?" Stephanie asked, not even looking at me. "Her cards keep declining," the barista explained. Stephanie finally turned to me, her eyes scanning me from head to toe, my suit, my briefcase, my face. Her expression shifted into something I'd seen too many times before: suspicion. "Miss, are these your cards?" she asked slowly, deliberately. My heart stopped. "Excuse me?" "I'm asking if these are your cards. Because we've had issues with—" "With what?" My voice came out sharper than I intended. "With black women using stolen credit cards." The cafe went silent. Every conversation stopped. Every eye turned toward us. Stephanie's face hardened. "I didn't say that. But we have protocols. I'm going to need to see your ID." "You need to see my ID to buy coffee?" "Store policy," she said coldly. My hands trembled as I reached for my wallet. This couldn't be happening. Not here. Not now. Not to me, someone who'd worked her entire life to be beyond this, above this. I showed her my ID. She studied it like a detective examining evidence. "This could be fake," she muttered, loud enough for others to hear. "Are you serious right now?" My voice cracked. "I've been coming here for 8 months. I'm a regular." "I've never seen you before," she lied smoothly. Behind me, someone whispered. Another person pulled out their phone. "I'm calling the police," Stephanie announced, reaching for the phone behind the counter. "Don't you dare." The voice came from the back of the cafe, deep, authoritative, unmistakable. Everyone turned. A tall black man in an expensive suit pushed through the crowd. His presence commanded immediate attention. "Mr. Lawson," Stephanie stammered, her face draining of color. "My office." "Now," he said, his voice like steel. He turned to me, his expression softening. "Miss Richardson, I'm Marcus Lawson. I own this cafe. I am so sorry for what just happened to you." The room was frozen. Stephanie stood there, mouth opening and closing like a fish. But sir, I was just following proto. You were racially profiling a customer, Marcus cut her off. In my establishment, the same customer I've personally served a dozen times. The same customer whose business card is on my desk upstairs because she's one of the attorneys handling my company's expansion. My breath caught. I'd sent him my information weeks ago for a potential consultation. I never imagined. Marcus turned to address the entire cafe, his voice carrying to every corner. Let me be absolutely clear. This woman, Ms. Maya Richardson, is a Harvard-educated attorney, a valued professional, a human being who deserves respect. And what happened here today is exactly why I started this business, to create a space where everyone is treated with dignity. He looked at Stephanie. You're terminated, effective immediately. Security will escort you out. Tears streamed down my face, not from sadness anymore, but from the overwhelming relief of being seen, of being defended, of not having to fight alone. Marcus checked my cards himself on a different machine. Both worked perfectly. The system had glitched, but instead of assuming a technical error, Stephanie had assumed I was a criminal. Your coffee's on the house. Forever, Marcus said gently, handing me my latte. And I'd still love to discuss that legal consultation, if you're willing. I walked out of that cafe with my head high, past the customers who'd watched everything unfold. Some looked away, ashamed. Others nodded at me with knowing eyes. They understood. That evening, a video went viral. Someone had recorded the entire encounter. By morning, Sterling Brew was trending. But this time, the story wasn't about humiliation. It was about accountability, about an owner who chose justice over profit, about standing up. Marcus, and I became friends after that. He told me he'd opened the cafe specifically because he'd experienced similar treatment too many times. He wanted to create something different, something better. I still go there every morning. And now, when I walk in, the entire staff knows my name. Not because I demand it, but because they've learned, truly learned, that every person who walks through those doors deserves to be seen as human first. That moment broke something in me, yes. But it also built something stronger, the absolute certainty that my dignity isn't up for debate. That my worth isn't defined by someone else's prejudice. That speaking up, even when your voice shakes, is always worth it. Because silence protects no one except those who benefit from our silence.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to drop a comment. We read every single one. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the Black Diaries. Your support brings us closer to our goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers.